can't believe it. Finally here at the benchmark trailhead. Guys are just gearing up, heading into the Bob Marshall Wilderness. Finally. Gonna see the Chinese wall. Everything goes as planned. Go over 2 passes, 6 days, 5 nights, 60+ miles. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Got a good group here too. Guys I've never backpacked with. One guy I know, and probably most of you guys who watch my videos will recognize him as well. Looking forward to it, ready to hike.
Not too bad without the peanut butter.
After years of watching videos, reading about it, and even being turned away by fires, we were finally in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. Well, we're maybe a mile and a half in. Trail is great, heavily used by horses. Just enjoying it, pinching myself that I'm in the Bob Marshall Wilderness. We found a camp here for day 1, just short of the Indian Point guard station. We're in a burn, but we're in a little oasis of trees that didn't get burnt. GPS says we did 11.5 today. Really pretty, fairly easy trail, ups and downs. Nice though, nice. A lot better than I was expecting.
You were able to. It was a pretty funny one, yeah. To like it recover from it pretty fast?
Oh yeah, like I just woke up like my face was a little swollen, like looked like I got.
Well, I meant the swollen part and the.
Morning day 2 in the Bob. Great day yesterday, great trail. Found a nice campsite. So today we decided last night we're going up over White Pass today. Well, it's coffee time. I need it. Came in on, I'm saying 3 hours sleep. Slept amazing last night. There it is. That's how it gets made.
So I'm going to start day 2 off by taking a look at the map and showing.
Alright, just heading out from this camp. The first major obstacle of the day was going to be crossing the Sun River. We knew there was no bridge across it, so that meant we'd be getting wet. Alright, well, we're maybe a mile into the hike. Still haven't made it to the river crossing yet. Trail's good, still on the CDT. Really pretty stuff here. Feeling good this morning though. Ready to tune it up and get up over this pass. So far the bob is everything I hoped it would be. Well, that was a pretty interesting river crossing. Haven't had one like that in a while. Maybe Straight Creek last year. So we're working our way up to White River Pass now. Starting up the pass, the grade was gentle, but we knew that would change the closer we got. That's the way we came. That's where we're going. As we climbed higher, the weather started to turn. I don't know where everybody else is. Hopefully they're not hiding this out. Raining pretty good. I'm gonna get up to these trees and grab my hat. Still working our way up the path. It rained hard enough I had to get my rain gear on. Pretty sure that's our pass right there in the middle. Well, we've really started to climb now. Feeling good. Guessing less than a mile, but I don't know. I ain't worried about it. I can see it. It's a ways off. Still gotta climb. Walking up into the storm. Thunderclaps are pretty regular right now. I'm not sure if that's coming our way, but that's where all the booming's coming from. Well, about to make the turn and make the final ascent up to White River Pass. It's around the corner there. You can't see the pass actually. Ever been chased by a thunderstorm while you're crossing a pass? Almost to the top. Hearing some really good thunderclaps now. That's where we came from. The storm might pass by. This might be the top of the path. I gotta cross this snowfield. Top of the line. So that other spot was not the pass. This is the pass. Dropping into this side. Looks great that way. That's pretty. But we're not going that way. Well, we're working our way down the White River side of White River Pass. We figured we had 5 miles to go to get down to where the campsites are. Maybe that's the river. Still fairly steep on the descent on this side. Feeling pretty good though. I made it across the pass all right. Figured I paced myself just right. Loving the Bob Marshall. Weather has turned for us. It is once again beautiful. We're along Molly Creek now, although it's a long ways below us. At this point, the snow was not a factor, which I'm happy about. The next pass is a little higher, so we'll see. Well, we'll just get through her now. Committed. Committed to going around. It was a long descent down from the pass. The weather was being temperamental and couldn't make up its mind what it wanted to do. More weather coming in now. It rained, cleared up, and now it's coming again, hearing thunder. Well, the rain caught up with us again. I tried to push a little ahead of the group. I didn't think it'd downpour, but I was wrong. Rained on us pretty good there. I'm hiding in a little clump of trees. I have the feeling the guys back up the trail are doing the same. We're almost down to the White River. Might give it a couple minutes here. Still raining. Made it down to this camp. Big old corral type setup. Rained pretty good again. So I'm down here at the White River. And I'll just hang out till these guys get here. I'm soaked. I was already kind of soaked, but... Well, it stopped raining for the time being. We're looking for a camp down here on the White River. Well, we made it to the outfitters camp. Camp is set up. Excellent fire. Coming down to the White River here to just fill up on water. We settled in on the edge of the outfitters camp. With the help of a great fire, I was able to get some of my gear dried out. Good morning. Morning day 3 here in the Bob. I'm loving this place, man. I am loving it. Always kind of watching for bears though. After filling up my water at the river, I made my way back to camp. As we were getting our gear sorted out, I noticed some movement along the tree line. 2 bears were making their way into the meadow we were in. They didn't see us and kept coming closer. There's 2 of them over here. Luckily, Joey kept filming during the whole encounter, and he let me use some of his footage.
Well, good morning, day 3. We've got, looks to be some black bears right here in camp.
This is the point when one of the bears spots us for the first time. The other bear was too busy munching away to notice us. Finally, the first bear took off and was running for the creek. That spooked the second bear, and he took off running too. And then this happened.
Ooh, don't run this way.
Hey, hey, hey!
Hey, bear. Go on, buddy. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Go on. Get.
This bear's kind of just circling us. It kind of ran at us for a second.
Whew. That turned into a close encounter. A couple of black bears. But boy, that's the first time I've ever had that happen. That was something. That was an experience right there. Having a bear run at you is a hell of a way to start the day. But we still had miles to make, so it was time to get moving. Well, we just started out guessing like 12 to 14 miles today, trying to get to the base of Larch Hill Pass. Tomorrow we'll cross over that, and then we'll be on the wall. Pretty incredible trip. That is Needle Falls. Well, we're still on the White River Trail, as we will be all day. Probably 6 or 7 miles in, with 4 or 5 to go. Good trail still, a little more blow down on this one. We're mostly woods walking. Still working our way up here. Across the White River now. I believe we're going to cross it again. We got a few miles to go. They tell me that there is the back of the wall. like the trail, Joey? Well, I believe we're on the home stretch for the day now. We've crossed the White River a few times. I lost track of how many. I'm gonna try to make this junction in an hour. Let's kick it into gear. Skies are dark, as always. I think I got about a mile and 3/4 to go. Kind of getting into the rhythm of the walk. About a half mile, I think, away from the junction. Getting a little dark on us. Let's push up here and knock this out. Whew, in the hammock. Well, night's not over, but we made it to camp.
People left, they thought it was out, and it spread, the winds picked up. And these hotshots coming in to fight it because there's structures and lodges back in there. And
I think we were on Juliet Creek. We're on the Wall Creek Trail. This is not Wall Creek. Going up over Larch Hill Pass today. About 1,800 foot climb in 3 miles from where we're at. This is the last major obstacle of the trip. What a trip it's been. In this little area, this looks like it was scorched last year. I'm like right on the edge of it. So it's been equaling it out to the last 2 days have been 15-mile days. Definitely feeling that. Today is supposed to be shorter, hoping about 12 miles. The intel we have on the mileage is different than what's coming out on the GPS, which is not unusual, but not more than a mile or so. Well, we're about to get this party started. Big climb, big climb. Backtracking to the main trail. Well, we're seeing the most blowdown we've seen on the trip.
The trail up Larch Hill Pass was in rough shape from the recent fire. Trees were all over the trail. The fire did do one thing for us though. It opened up the forest and gave us some incredible views that we wouldn't have got otherwise.
Getting near the top here, more and more snow. The Bob Marshall Wilderness is pretty special.
Once we hit the top of the pass, we climbed up a little higher for one hell of a view.
You want to go down?
After having lunch in one of the most scenic spots I've ever been, it was time to go down and walk the wall.
Back on the CDT.
From our lunch spot, we could see our route and what was to come. There might not have been much snow on the passes, but there was plenty of snow along the wall.
12,000 feet, huh? That's a high camp. Well, we're making our way along the wall. It is something else. Haven't hit too much snow yet, but I think that's about to change. At least we got great weather for this part. Trying to get over and through this pulse toll every second step.
Though it was only 6 miles across the wall, it was tough going in the snow. At one point, I even had the unfortunate pleasure of stepping out of a snow-fed stream into a snow bank.
Gonna make it over that saddle. Looking real snowy over there. We're on the final climb of the day. Maybe final climb of the trip. So now I'm told we have a half mile to camp. Downhill. Looking forward to it. 4 straight days of soaking wet feet. Most of where we came from. We're headed down the other side. Camp is supposed to be half mile away. Can't camp along the wall. Still some good patches of snow here. What a trip this has been. Just incredible. One to remember for me. Well, we made it to a camp here. Whew, ended up being a 13-something mile day. The mileage is just racking up on this trip. Already the longest mileage trip I've done. What an adventure this has been.
You never heard that, Cameron?
Tell me about your custom tent pole.
Well, basically it broke my tent pole right here on a joint, this 4-way intersection of tent poles. And the sleeve that they give you, it was impossible to get it here to fix this. And it does not work if this joint is broken. So I basically had to use a stick and some duct tape. It's probably added about half a pound to my setup, but I'm okay with that because it works.
It definitely works.
Zips up, I can keep the bugs out.
It definitely works.
And I know which one's mine. There's no doubt about it.
Should have an easy walk today. Should be the shortest day. Looking forward to another good day in the bob though. Almost out of here, day 5. Well, we're about 10 minutes out of camp. On the CDT, heading south. I think the plan is tonight to stay in the same campground we did on the first night.
By day 5 of the trip and 50 miles behind us, some of our gear was just barely holding on. This section of the trail was just what I needed. An open step with a gentle grade.
Alright, we've linked up with the trail we came in on now. A little bit to go to get to Indian Point. We are almost to camp here. This is the earliest we've been. It's just in that live bunch of trees down there. We've been in camp for a few hours now. It was an easy 8-something mile day. Easiest of the trip by far. Last night of the trip, been quite an adventure. We're almost out of here. Actually snowed about 1,000 feet above us last night. I didn't think it was that cold. It did rain hard, but it's a cold pack up. We're hurrying. It's beer day. Let's go get some.
That's kind of the best way to get in there.
Joey, what do you think about your first trip into the Bob?
It's awesome. It's definitely a new experience. It's got its own personality. It's big country. I think that's my first impression, is just big. I think for a place like this, it just opens up my eyes to an endless amount of possibilities down the line, places to come.
You can see the snow up there in the high country where we were a couple days ago.
He's just photoshopping it in. There's no snow up there.
This weather is coming fast. We are not going to outrun it. We're about to get nailed. We weren't just going to stroll out of the bob. A little over halfway back.
We started out with 11 miles back to the trailhead, and even though I was looking forward to a burger and a brew, found myself not wanting to leave this place. The Bob Marshall Wilderness is just that. True wilderness.
Well, we're out of the burn, back into the woods, and I'm just guessing, but I reckon we got about 3 miles to go, maybe there. Muddy, a lot of horse traffic. 4 pack trains have passed us today. Well, about on the home stretch now. I'd guess about a mile to go. Oh, ready to be done.
Years of dreaming about coming up to this place had made it larger than life in my mind. I am happy to report that it lived up to that and much more.
Here is where we started 6 days ago. Made it back to the trailhead.